so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful life. Give yourself some round of applause. You're so lovely.
This week, I just wanted to respectfully give a quick word about Nipsey Hussle. I've been living in Los Angeles for a few years now, and I'm happy to say that for the whole time I've been here, I was aware of all the great things that Nipsey has been doing in the neighborhood and what he represents for the people, especially the people in South Central, but really all of Los Angeles. So I feel fortunate to have seen the love and respect that he has and the climate that he helped to create in terms of encouraging black ownership and just enterprising and everything else that he's done. This loss has put a pall over the city. It's been difficult for a lot of people for a lot of reasons because he represented a lot of things to a lot of different people. But the one thing that I really want to emphasize, because there's been a lot of tributes out there and I think they're great. I think it's wonderful for everyone to continue sharing the old videos of him speaking, especially at a young age, about the importance of ownership and having things that appreciate. Continue sharing those videos, continue working on maintaining the example that he set. That's all beautiful. But two things I want to say. Number one thing that I'll always respect him for is that a lot of people sit around and complain about gentrification. We get mad about the way our neighborhoods are routinely done. Resources are drained from areas. Property values are depressed. They push us out. They buy it for cheap. Then they develop it. There's only one way to combat that, and that's by not only owning these places, but not owning them so we can flip it and sell it to the highest bidder. We have to own it, maintain it, revitalize it, and we have to see the value in this property, just like other people see the value once they depress it and gentrify it. Nipsey was actually doing that. He never left South Central. He stayed in the same spot. He was developing. And the thing is, these things take time. It's a process. You don't just start developing and the whole entire neighborhood changes. You need people like Neighborhood Nip to start it, and then it's for everyone else to continue it. I just want to make sure people understand, and like myself, anybody else that's paying attention, take it to heart. That man didn't just sit around and talk about, oh, they keep gentrifying, oh, they keep taking our stuff. No, he said, I'm going to stop it. I'm going to work to combat it, and I'm going to do it in a way that benefits my people. So when we do increase the value of this area and these properties, we're the ones that own it. We're the ones that now have something that we can pass down to our children, because so much of wealth in this country is tied up in property ownership, primarily even the home. So him, by even working on revitalizing his area, in the long term, that'll make the value of everyone else's home go up, which is a wonderful thing for that community, but it's a wonderful example for us all across America as black people. That's one thing I want to say. I want to just give my eternal love to him for what he did and for what he represents. The other thing is this, we're all sad, we're all upset right now, and that's understandable. That there is a time to mourn, and this is the time. But I've heard some people say some things that bother me because he died in his neighborhood. We know this, but I've heard people say that's why you can't stay in the neighborhood. That's why you can't reach too high. You can't do too much or they will come get you. You can't aspire to really change everything around you because they will take you down. I know some of that's coming from a place of sorrow, but I think we should all shut that kind of thing down immediately. I shut it down when it's around me, and I encourage you to shut it down when it's around you, because we have to live a full life. We have to live a life with meaning. Nobody promised us anything. Not a single one of us walking the earth has been promised a moment. But you better occupy all this time in a way that leaves a real legacy, something that will survive you, which is what Nipsey did. And you can't let the fear of anything, including death, prevent you from reaching your greatness. And the same day I heard someone say something about the fact that Nipsey's death was a reason why you shouldn't aspire to be too great. Ironically, that was the same day, it was the 51st anniversary of the death of Dr. King. And all I could just think in my mind was the same phrase kept going through my head. Longevity has its place, but I'm not worried about that now. Dr. King knew throughout his whole life what he was facing. A whole lot of other people took risks the same way. Again, whether we're talking about Fannie Lou Hamer being beaten halfway to death, registering people to vote, all the Freedom Riders, people didn't let their fear overcome their willingness not just to individually be great, but to support their people. And Nipsey didn't either. And that's the lesson we need to take from this. Not that it's not okay to go back to the hood. Something could happen to us anyway. People die every day for nothing. And especially people who know one another. People die in petty disputes all the time. And again, I want to reiterate, I understand that sometimes we speak from a place of sorrow, but more so than anyone else in this country, black people, we cannot afford to despair. We just can't afford it. So we have to use this moment the same way we use every moment that's tragic, to make sure that it fortifies what we believe in, to make sure that it strengthens our resolve. We can't allow it to chip away at what the great people who came before us were able to accomplish, because we're standing on the shoulders of so many giants, and Nipsey is now one of those giants. We have to remember the resilience that got us here to this point. We have to remember the people who represent the best parts of us, the best part of our ability to adapt and to thrive under any circumstances and to keep fighting in the face of any form of oppression or limitations. But the lesson from this, I'm hoping, caring for your people, being willing to live and sacrifice yourself, meaning your time, your money, your energy, your love for your people, nothing should ever get in the way of that, especially not fear. Rest in power to Nipsey Hussle. We love you.